Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for having me on. So tonight we're going to go over our credit repair program, it's the myCredit system. If you're already in my econ, and I assume everyone on the call is, it does come with your income shifting membership when you're enrolled. And if you go here, when you log into your website, if you click products, it's here. We do sell it a la carte, but this is not where you would get access to it if you are a My Econ associate. This is where people would go to purchase it from you a la carte, and you do get commission off of that. So we're going to log into our website. In order for you to access the myCredit system, you must log into your website. And everyone, when they enrolled in My Econ, they should have received 2 welcome emails from the company. And whoever enrolled you, they probably did a quick start orientation with you to go over everything with you. So this is your website. There are 2 places that you can get the access to the myCredit system. Is right here beside Get Started. This is one place, but this is the income shifting membership that you paid for. So you would click income shifting tab. And in there, you'll see everything that's included in your membership. And the myCredit system is right here. We're going to click on that. We're going to click the Get Started video. Here's an introduction video right here. Click Get Started. And this is the myCredit system. This system has everything you need inside of it, so you do not need to leave out of the software for anything. If you notice, it's under 25 minutes, so that's what I encourage a lot of people when they ask about the myCredit system or ask about My Econ in general, and they're interested in repairing their credit. You have the introduction, you have the create a dispute letter in My Account. You're not going to go over here to the navigation just yet. You can go to the My Account and set up your account. You can do that. So the first thing you want to do is watch the video, which is welcome to the myCredit system. I also let people know that the videos are not long at all, so you do not have to spend hours in front of this computer. When you're working on your credit, the first thing you need to do is pull your credit report. So it's a video here showing you how to pull your credit report. Then we have the link in here. The most reliable places to get your credit report from is the annualcreditreport.com. When you click on it, it's going to take you right to their website. Again, you do not have to leave out of the software for anything. You read the instructions. During the COVID, they allowed us to pull our credit for free every week from all 3 credit bureaus. So they still have that going on. I don't know if they're going to change it, but they usually only allow you to do it once a calendar year. So right now, they're still offering you to get it free weekly. Do you need to pull your credit report that much or that often? Absolutely not. But again, if you think that suspicious activity is going on your credit report, then it's here for you to pull it. You're going to request all of the credit reports. There are 3 credit reports that you need to pull. When you hit request the credit reports, you're going to enter in all the information and you answer it accurately. You have to answer everything correct, because it will reject you getting access to your credit reports. And then when you hit next, of course, it's going to ask you some more questions, some more security questions. But when you go there, you want to select all 3 credit bureaus. And these are all 3 credit bureaus. They are all privately owned entities. They're not ran by the government. They're in different parts of the world. So each credit bureau will show you something different. All of your creditors might not report to every credit bureau. You might have some creditors who report to only Equifax or TransUnion or Experian. So you want to have all 3 credit reports pulled, and you want to download and save them to your computer. I suggest to people not to print them out, because some of these credit reports can be very lengthy, and I've seen them up to 74 pages sometimes. So you can click on each credit bureau. When you go to their site, they're going to ask you a series of security questions. You answer the questions correctly, and it'll give you access to your credit report. I believe Equifax and Experian has made it easier to access, where they'll just ask you for your telephone number and email. They'll verify sending you a code, and they'll let you write in to see your credit reports. Your credit reports will pertain everything that is connected to your social that you've ever used your social on. Every address, telephone number, it's going to be on your credit report. So again, like I said, sometimes it can be 27 to 74 pages long. So you just want to download all 3 of the credit reports and save them to your computer. Okay, so now you have access to your credit report. We need to get our credit score because the annualcreditreport.com, they do not give you your credit score. You need to know your accurate FICO score. So you're going to go to myfico.com. Keep in mind, anywhere that gives you a free credit score is not accurate. So no, Credit Karma is not accurate. Credit Karma is a marketing tool. That's their whole brand. They market you to apply for credit cards. So this information that they're giving you as far as your credit score is not accurate. It is a score that none of your creditors use when you're applying to get a loan for something. So you want to go to myfico.com. Again, the site is right here within your software. You have different options, but the best option is the $39.95 a month. They're going to provide you with the FICO scores. It's different scores. So the FICO scores are multiple scores. So they're going to provide you with scores for your mortgages, auto loans, and more. So that lets you know that when you go apply for a house, they're not looking at the same score as when you go apply for a car. So that's why it's important to know what your FICO scores is. They're going to give you credit monitoring because it's very important when you are building and repairing your credit that you know what's on your credit report, what's being taken off, what's being added. So that's very important, okay? And you can pick the different plans, whatever works for you. So now that you have your credit report and you have your credit score and you know what's going on with your credit, now you're ready to do step 2, which is to freeze your secondary bureaus. Notice I said secondary bureaus because we're not freezing the 3 main big bureaus, which is Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These secondary bureaus, they actually report to their main big bureaus. And if you put a freeze on a secondary, it's like a strategy of putting a wall up so that your credit data is not being shared with them. So when you send off your letters and these creditors or the credit bureaus try to say that they verified that the debt belongs to you, we know that's not true because we have put a wall up and block them with the freeze for the secondary bureaus. Okay, so this is a major step that you need to do before trying to dispute anything on your credit report. And there are 3 secondary bureaus that you need to send your letters to. That is Advanced Resolution Services, ARS. You got Innovis Consumer Assistance and LexisNexis. LexisNexis is the largest one, and they recently bought out SageStream. So SageStream is no longer there. You want to click on the link. You don't need to go directly to their website. Again, here's a link that takes you directly to request a security freeze. So you're going to request a security freeze. You are a consumer. We're not a third-party agency. We're the consumer that's actually repairing our own credit. We're going to hit agree to their terms of use and hit continue. So you're going to fill out all of this information. And once you fill out this information, they're going to ask you to upload some identity, your ID and your social for identification purposes. So that's to protect your identity. So once you fill out all of these questions and answer everything, they're going to ask you to upload 3 things: your ID, your social, and a piece of mail showing your proof of address. They don't want advertisement mail. They need some mail with utility bill. You can use your check stub if you choose to. You can use your bank statement. I just suggest to people to dock out the personal information as far as what they don't want them to know. But they need to verify that your address is a legit address. Once you upload all 3 of those documents, then they in turn will send you a confirmation email, or just they will send you a letter. That letter will have a security pin in place for you. That pin is what you would need if you ever decide to remove that freeze off of your off the secondary bureau. Should you remove the freeze? Absolutely not. There's no need to. That freeze will not stop you if you go in to try to attempt to apply for something, which you shouldn't be doing. Let me put that out there. You should not be trying to apply for anything when you're doing the credit repair process, okay? You shouldn't let no one pull your credit, because again, inquiries can be up to 5 to 7 points against your credit score. So when you're in the credit building process or credit repair process, you shouldn't be applying for anything. But if you do, and you have this freeze in place, it will not stop you from being approved for something either. The security freeze, again, is on the secondary bureaus, okay? So yes, you can still apply for stuff if you decide to, and the freeze will not stop you from getting approved, okay? Again, you're going to click on each website. If you ever need to contact them after you put your freeze in place, the number is right here. And again, you can go straight to their website from the top link, okay? So now that you have your freezes in place, we also have placed in here something with the list of consumer reporting agencies. This is amazing, you guys, because a lot of things be going on with people credit and they might not know, why. Like tenant screening. Some people might not understand why they're being denied for an apartment. Employment screening. You got the bank and check screening. This one was great for me because my son, a couple of years ago, he was denied cashing his check at Walmart and he didn't understand why. And I was excited to show him that we had this information in our software. And when you go there, it gives you the number that's directly on the little 800 number that's on the tab that they give you at Walmart. Or if you ever had a problem with cashing a check, you call that number, you enter in your information. But I took him to the website so he could understand what was going on. And I took him right to their website. We entered in the information and they told him exactly why he was having a problem with cashing his check. So this is a great read, it's great information to have. I suggest that you download that and save it to your computer. Okay. The third step, now that you've done that, now you want to check for the errors on your credit report. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that any information that is listed on your credit report that is inaccurate, outdated, or unverifiable must be removed from your credit file. So again, you want to check for errors. It's important, you guys, because when most people pull their credit reports, looking at your credit report and you see something up there, say a Verizon or a Cox bill, you will automatically say, oh, that belongs to me because I know I used to have Cox or I used to have that telephone service. Well, you need to pay close attention to the account number, the date that it's been reported that you opened that account, the account balance, all of that matters, because if any of that information is inaccurate, you do not have to pay that debt. And you can use our system and our letters that we have in place to remove that debt from your credit report, okay? Once you have your credit file, it is important that you look thoroughly over, look it over for errors. There are several types of errors that can be found on your credit report, okay? So you're gonna watch this video and also download the common credit reporting errors. That'll show you everything to look for. And also, once a creditor sells your debt, you are no longer responsible to pay them because they have sold your debt to a third-party collection company. So that's major. Now you're ready for to start the dispute process. You have checked for the errors, you understand what's on your credit report, and now you're ready to start the dispute process. You're going to click Create a Dispute Letter. Again, if you've inputted all your information into your account, it will appear here. Or you can go up there and click My Profile and type in all your information, and this is what will appear on your letter, okay? The first letter that you want to use is the identity letter. I call this the credit cleanup round. This letter is major because any inaccurate addresses that is attached to a old account that you used to have. If you remove that address off of your credit profile, they can no longer attach you to owning that debt. So this letter is huge. It's very important for you to get this letter. Let this be the first letter that you send off. We're going to look at the letter. And if you notice the different fonts in the letter, the boldness, that letter will have everything up there. And that's because the different fonts in the letter is because when your letter is mailed to the credit bureau, it does not land in the hand of an actual person. The letter is ran through something called the eOscar system. That system and Intel will let the system know if it needs to be read by an actual person. The way to get the system's attention, if the letter is, it triggers. So the boldness, the different fonts, it could be color. Also, your wet signature. So it's important for you not to type your name on your letters. Your wet signature will also let the system know, hey, this is a real person. This is not from an automated system. This is not from a third-party company. This letter needs attention. So your letter will end up in the hands of someone who will read your letter. You want to send this letter off to every credit bureau. If your credit bureaus had inaccurate identity information up there, the misspelling of your name, wrong social security number, wrong addresses, inaccurate employers, you want to get all of that removed off, okay? As far as the employment part, you do not want to have up there that you are self-employed, unemployed, or side jobs, because to a lender who has who you're asking to lend you money, you are considered a risk. So you never want to have up there that you're unemployed or a side job. And I've seen that on people credit reports. That's why I say that side job, side hustle, you never want to have any of that up there. You do want to have the correct information up there, okay? If you put your current employer up there, will it cost you to get garnished? Absolutely not. I've had people ask me that. No, it would not cost you to get garnished, okay? Sometimes leaving your previous employer up there can be attached to a credit file that you're trying to get removed off. So that's something that I recently learned, because I've always kept the previous employer up there and was able to still get tons of stuff removed off of people credit. But again, sometimes your previous employer can attach you to an old debt, depending on what their debt is. And if your employment information is on their profile. So that's something to think about. You want to make sure that this letter is notarized. You want to save this letter to your account history. And here is our account history. You want to save that letter, and then you want to hit create a dispute letter. Yes, the letter needs to be notarized. Most banks do notary for free. If not, a notary costs $5. You do have to put some skin in the game and spend some money when you're repairing your credit. The great part about being in myEcon, you're not paying no one to do it for you, but you're just doing it yourself, but you do have to spend a few dollars here and there. So to send this letter off, you're gonna print it out, get it notarized. You can write the notary off on your taxes because you're in a business, myEcon, that's tax deductible. And when you send this letter off, again, you want to send it off with your ID. You want to attach your ID. You want to attach a copy of your social security card, and you want to attach a letter showing your address, a utility bill or something that is legit. Nothing that's advertisement mail, okay? You're going to do that for each credit bureau. You're going to send off 3 individual letters. In turn, you're going to mail it off. You need to write down the date that you mail that letter off. That's very important, because by law, they have 30 days to respond to your request, okay? So any letter you send to the credit bureaus, by law, they have 30 days. That time was extended during COVID. So I know a lot of people was not hearing back from credit bureaus during COVID, but that has now been lifted. They have 30 days to respond to you, okay? So again, in 30 days, they might not send you an updated credit report. So your credit monitoring, if you have that active, you can log in and see that all of those addresses fell off. That was incorrect. The misspelling of your name has been updated. Any inaccurate information pertaining to your identity has now been updated. If you have your credit monitoring, you can monitor that, okay? So now that your identity is straight, you got those old addresses off. I can say this, on some credit reports, like I say, they will have every address that you've ever lived at. I've had a client where it was 27 addresses up there. So I will show you how you can adjust this letter in a few minutes. That's the first letter that you're going to send off. The second letter that you want to send off is your verification dispute letter. So now you're in the dispute process. This is round one. I like to say round one, and now we're ready to fight with the credit bureaus. Here's a preview of the letter. Again, you notice the different fonts. You notice that we have the wording in here according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the laws. They know exactly what these laws mean, these sections, these codes, they know exactly what it means. You are required by federal law to conduct a reasonable reinvestigation to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate and record the current status of the disputed information or delete the item from the file before the end of the 30-day period beginning on the date you receive this notice. So again, we're not telling them that the account does not belong to us. We're asking them to do a thorough investigation, and we want hard evidence proving why this is our debt. I demand to see verifiable proof. This should be hard evidence that goes all the way back to the original creditor, not verification from a third-party database. Again, we want them to send us the original contract, and most creditors do not have that profile, you guys. When they buy your debt, they actually buy a number, and they buy it for pennies on the dollar. So say if you did have a creditor and you owe that creditor $200, they might buy for way less, and then they try to bill you for $400. So they don't have the actual contract. They do not have access to your medical records. So medical bills are the easiest thing to get removed off your credit report. They do, by HIPAA law, they do not have access to your medical records. So again, you send this letter off, you sign it, and this is a preview of the letter, but the letter actually needs to be notarized. Here is where you're going to list all your accounts. On your credit report, you're going to select the credit bureau that you want to send a letter to. Also notice on your credit report, I know for Equifax, sometimes they might have up there as the account name NA, and that's exactly what you're going to put on this letter. They might have the account number is all X's, and that's exactly what you're going to put on this letter. You're never going to give the credit bureaus information that they don't have. That's a strategy that Equifax used, because they figure if you give them the name of the account, and if they do have a partial account number, or say they have the name, and you put anything up here, then you have verified that you owe the debt. You have said legally, oh, I owe this debt because I have verified the information. So you want to let this letter show exactly what's on your credit reports. If it's more than 6, you can hit that button, and now you can add up to 12 creditors. You want to never dispute more than 12, so you want to keep it at 12. You want to click that it needs to be notarized, and you want to save it to your history log, okay? Again, you're going to mail this letter off. You want to write down the date that you mail it off. Every letter that you send to the credit bureau should be sent certified mail, which costs $7. You can write it off on your taxes. Again, you keep your receipts, you upload that to your cash flow manager, and you can write that off on your taxes. But you want to send it certified mail so that you know that it got there. You can actually do receipt mail. Sometimes I would send a letter requesting a signature back. They cost $9. You can actually send that letter off as well. Mail it off that way as well. That's where they have to sign once they receive the letter. You want to send it like that so that you know your letter has reached the credit bureaus, okay? You're going to do that again. They have 30 days to respond. So in the meantime of those 30 days, when people say they do not have time to do it themselves, repair their own credit, I would never understand that, because you do not have to sit in front of your computer all day. This takes less than 30 minutes to do. You can send them letters off, and then you got 30 days to study your myEcon business or learn the income shifting strategies and the cash flow strategies and different things. But you do not have to work on your credit 7 days a week, okay? You send it off, 30 days later, they're going to send you a response. Now, this time, they are supposed to send you a letter in the mail. I've noticed that TransUnion will sometimes send a letter saying they need more information proving that you are, verifying that who you say you are. That's why I say to always send a social and your ID, because if they do that, then it's just going to slow up the process. And of course, their whole plan is to get you to say, this is too much, and I quit and I give up. But we do not quit. We have no quitting us in myEcon. So their whole strategy is to get you to feel like it's too much to do. And it's actually not too much to do. So you want to make sure all your information that you send to them is there. When they send you a letter responding to your verification dispute letter, it's going to show every account that you tried to get removed. And it's going to say either three things. It's going to say either updated, verified, or deleted. Okay. When it gets deleted, we know that's a win. We're going to mark that account off our list. I tell everyone they should have a journal so that they can keep up with the progress that they're making and what accounts they're disputing. So if it's deleted, that's a win. Anything that has been updated or verified needs to go to the next letter. Anything that has been verified, they're trying to say that they verified the debt. We know that is not true because we have our secondary freeze in place. Anything that's been updated. Again, we want to know how did you update that information. So now we're going to go to round 2. Round 2 is your method of verification dispute letter. Here's the second letter. This is your second written request. Again, you notice the different fonts. We're getting more boldly, asking them, in the results of your first investigation, you stated in writing that you verified that these items are being reported correctly. I want to know who in your company verified that account. How did they verify the account? So we want them to send us proof of how you verified that I owe this debt. They cannot do that because, again, we have our secondary freeze in place. So we're going to send this letter requesting for them to remove it a second time. For myself, I've never had to, on myCredit, I have used this letter for clients, but with myCredit, I was able to delete everything off of my credit report the first round. And that was truly a great win. Okay. In 30 days, I was able to remove everything inaccurate off of my credit report. I actually had owed Sprint a bill, and they had Sprint up there 3 times. Before I got this credit education, I just assumed, okay, that belongs to me. That belongs to my credit report. But once I learned and understood to pay attention and read those errors, they had 3 different accounts, 3 different numbers, 3 different amounts, which was making my credit score way worse than what it should have been. So again, with the first letter, I was able to remove everything, but sometimes you have to go the extra mile. And again, you're fighting for your good credit, so don't quit. You're going to repeat the same process with the second letter. We have letters in here to remove hard inquiries. We have letters in here to remove, say if the original creditor reaches out to you. We have a goodwill letter in here. The goodwill letter is if you've ever fell on hard times, which we all probably have, if you fell behind on a debt or something, or not a debt, but a bill, because it has to be an open account. And say if you missed a car payment here or there. This goodwill letter you can actually send to your it has to be an open account, and you can send this letter to them. I've actually used it for myself and several people on my team, seeing great results from sending this letter off. Asking the company, that you've been a good customer for a long time, and if they are willing, now that you're caught up, it has to be an account that you're also current with. Let me put that out there. You cannot be behind on the account and send this letter off. This is for when you have been a good paying customer and you're on time with everything, and now you're caught up. You just missed a few payments, and you can send this letter off. And a lot of companies will actually honor this letter because they know those late payments can hurt your credit score up to 100 points. That's very important. When people be like, I don't have a whole lot on my credit, I don't know why my score is so low. That one 30-day late payment can reduce your credit score by 100 points, okay? So this letter is very powerful. Again, you want to get it notarized and send it off. And you're sending it to the company. So for myself, I was able to call. I would suggest that you call. Again, this is a company that you're still with. The account is not closed. You can actually call them to find out what department should you send this letter to. I did it for a young lady to help her remove her late payments off her mortgage because she wanted to refinance. It was a certain department that they wanted me to send it to. They also didn't want us to mail it. The lady told us to fax it that day so that she can honor our request and get it done faster. So again, this is with an open account. The goodwill letter goes to an open account that you're in good standing with, which you might have missed some payments. We have a letter here for pay to delete. Now, this is when your an account is on your collection, or a collection is on your credit, and you want them, you've already spoken with them, because I have a lot of clients who did not know they wasn't supposed to talk to their creditors, and they made payment arrangements. So if you have already made payment arrangements with a creditor, you want to send this letter off. It's a pay to delete letter. That's how this letter looks. And this letter is actually asking them if they would remove the collection from your credit if you decide to make a settlement with them. When you send this letter off, you want to get the name of the person you spoke with. You want an email from them showing that it will be removed. Don't just take their word at it, okay? You want that amount up there that you need to pay, and you only send this off if you've already made payment arrangements with a collection company. You guys, when you talk to them, if you've already made payment arrangements with them, or if you've already acknowledged that you owe that debt, it's kind of hard to get it removed with this verification letter, because you basically have already said you owe the debt, okay? We have letters up here for, again, to address medical hospital bills, the HIPAA letters. And if you don't get a response back from the credit bureaus, here is the 30-day no response letter, okay? So you will send this off if you don't get a response back from them. Okay, now that you did the dispute process, here's a video to show you why you should never dispute online. Here's a video to show you how to mail the letters. When some people say, I don't know what to do when I get to the post office, here's a video showing you how to mail the letter. Here's the address to all 3 credit bureaus. Okay, and here are the dispute letters that you actually can download to your computer and make, you can change the verbiage in the letters. I would suggest that you don't change the verbiage in none of the letters. Only one that I would make a change to is the identity letter. And that's because, like I told you, sometimes the letter on your credit profile, on your credit report, you will have up there every address that you ever lived at. I had a problem when I was disputing a client's credit. Experian tried to say that they didn't receive the letter from her. So of course, I kept the letter in the back in our history log. That's where the history log comes in play, you guys. I'm so glad they put that in there. They tried to say that they didn't receive the letter. I said, well, ma'am, I have a copy of the letter right here in my hand showing that I had sent you guys the letter. I actually had the pay to receipt from the post office. So I had the date that I mailed the letter to them. So then when she came back and said, oh, we have your letter, but the reason why we didn't remove the addresses is because you didn't state what addresses you needed removed. Well, ma'am, clearly the letter tells you that any other addresses are unverifiable and I don't have access to them. Please remove these incorrect addresses immediately. So she said, well, no, we require, and again, this is a strategy because they're hoping that you say this is too much, I'm going to give up. She said, no, we require that you list every address that you want removed. So I say, ma'am, it's 27 addresses. She said, we require that you put every address that you want removed from on the letter. So what I do, I went in here and I included every address on this letter. Again, I was determined to get those addresses off of my client's credit report, and it worked. So These letters are in here. If you need to make any changes to it, you can download them, okay? So just keep that in mind, that they might try to use that as one of their tactics to disencourage you to give up. But again, we don't have no quit in us. Okay, so these are the letters that you can download right here. Right here is the Consumer Federal Protection Bureau. This is where you file a complaint against the credit bureaus if they do not follow the guidelines that they should. You then sent your letters off, you then did follow-up letters, and they're still, like, you just sent the third letter off and you know that account does not belong to you, or is inaccurate, or the information is not correct. You can actually go here and file a complaint against the credit bureaus. I love this site. This is like the FBI for the consumers. It is actually like the FBI for the consumers. This is how people go up here. If you see the credit bureaus getting lawsuits against them, this is where people are reporting them, okay? Only thing, when you do begin to start your process, you have to make sure you have all of your information proving that you followed the proper steps. They do not play. You cannot file a complaint against the credit bureaus if you did not save your letters in the log history, or you have proof that you sent the letters, or you have that mail receipt that you sent the letters. So we want to make sure we follow the steps so that when we file a complaint, it can be heard and so we can get results, okay? Right here is the Federal Trade Commission. And then we have something in here if you've ever had a problem with identity theft. If you've ever been a victim of identity theft, you can go right to the Federal Trade Commission and file a complaint and get your process started. The State Attorney General, that is who you would call when you call these third-party collection companies. Again, third-party collection companies have to answer to their local state attorney general. You can file a complaint against them if you've ever had a problem with a third-party collection company harassing you. Here are some videos. Oops, I'm sorry, you guys. My mouse is doing its own little thing. Here are some videos, you guys, if you need to learn how to check for disputes and what if a dispute is not removed, okay? We have some videos in here for you. Now that you've cleaned up your credit, now you need to start building your credit, okay? So we're going to teach you how to build your credit with the biggest part, credit utilization. Credit utilization works up to 30% of your credit score. So this is major, okay? You want to learn how to work on credit utilization. We're going to teach you how to build credit. We actually have some suggested apps in here, the self-lending. I refer a lot of my clients to this. Credit Strong is good. If you're with a credit union, I went through my credit union, the Credit Loan Builder program. That is like, all of these programs are like them putting a trade line, a positive trade line on your credit report. So as you pay them every month, the money will go into a savings account for you, but they will in turn report to the credit bureaus monthly. It's just like you having a credit card. If you can't get a credit card, this is a positive trade line. It's like a lifeline to your credit report. So it's showing that you're building credit. They in turn put the money in a savings account. They will release that money to you at the end of the term. It could be $500 to $1,000, but every month they will show positive payment history on your credit report, and you will start seeing your score go up. Here's some suggested credit cards, some secured credit cards that we suggest that you can use. Discovery is absolutely one that you should absolutely apply for when you're building your credit. Again, $200 refundable security deposit. You can also use your rent. If you're paying rent, you can read here how to use your rent to build your credit as well. And that's through Rental Karma. This is the end of my presentation. You guys remember, when people reach out to us for credit repair in myEcon, we want to let them know. Oh, sorry.
Congratulations fixing your.
Oops, I made a mistake and started a video. I'm sorry. Hold on.
This is.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I started sharing. But you guys, when we hold on. Okay, so when we have people reach out to us for myEcon as far as with the credit repair, what we do want to do, you guys, is let them know that we offer them two options, and that is to get the myCredit system by itself, We can sell it for them for $99, but that does not include trainings like this, team trainings, and it does not include coaching from you. So you will not be their accountability partner. I like to tell people I will be your accountability partner. I'm going to be your coach. You're going to get team trainings. That $99 does come with the videos that's within the training. Or you can get the income shifting membership, which makes sense because you're having a business, you're going to have team trainings, you're going to have me as your accountability partner, and you can write it off on your taxes. So that is the end of my training terms.